Look, there is absolutely no point in saying any of this, because anyone who put any time to truly experience the world of Alan Wake already knows this. Alan Wake 2 is a future classic. There are only a handful of games that I hold in this high of regard, and Alan Wake 2 sits head to head with titles like Death Stranding, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and The Last of Us Part 2. None of these games are perfect, and by some may not even be good games, but they use the medium of gaming to make their point to the fullest. That's why some of them may not be fun games, but they are perfect because they walk on the frontier of possibility. By now, everyone knows how Alan Wake 2 puts meta-narrative into already meta content. But there is one part of that story that I haven't heard anyone talk about yet. And that surprised me because it hits hard as soon as you experience it. At least it did me. I'm talking about the time in between Alan Wake 1 and Alan Wake 2. And I do mean all the time in between it. The period in which the story takes place and that time in real life. I'm talking about that slice of space right in the middle of the release dates of the two games. I remember finishing the first game way back then and feeling excited for the continuation. So when the first DLC came out, I thought, okay, this is about Alan adapting to the dark place, getting his bearings, and preparing for the fight back. But then the second DLC didn't really push the story along that much, and we were left with Alan being stuck in a really awkward place. I felt kind of defeated. The sequel is the answer, I thought. But years kept piling up, and the sequel never came. This may be just me, but over the years I often imagined Alan lost and trapped in there, and it truly made me sad. But not because I can't handle a sad ending, because I can. Horror is my movie preference, so believe me, I've seen it all. But for a single reason. It wasn't an ending, because it was obvious that they intended to continue the story. All of these feelings just because of those last words at the very end of the credits. That's what made it so tragic and hollow. Alan Wake's journey for the night will continue, I said. So when the sequel finally came out and I got to play it, it seemed obvious from the start that the developers also considered that gap in real life, as it's subtly referenced from the very beginning of the game. But in no place is it more apparent than the end of chapter 2. When Alan first appears, washed out from Cauldron Lake, and with burden of 13 years of agony, he fears the hope that he may finally be back. It's right then, after you glimpse into his eyes and see all of that, when the chapter song Wide Awake starts playing, and paints a picture of the horrors he went through during that time. That's the moment I've been waiting for. Redemption. I finally felt like I could breathe. But of course, seeing that it was only the beginning of the game meant there were more horrors to come for our protagonist. And them giving us this moment at the start suggested that they had something considerably different for the conclusion. Honestly, I could extrapolate on almost every sentence I said up until now, and talk for hours about this one, but that time gap was my goal for this video. I want to stop right here where Alan is safe and I can just look back, smile, and enjoy that moment while it lasts. For one more time, before the nightmare continues. Thanks for listening to me, and remember, new words